So Donovan Mitchell right here. I just like throwing the graphics off. It makes it a little bit more professional.
I love
And-
it. I love it.
Yeah. So, because people always complain like we just don't want to see talking heads, and I'm like, I get you. I get
People
you.
say that?
I don't know. I'm not really.
No, I like it. It's like every other talk show. You know, they've got the graphics. They got a graphic guy. We just need a graphic guy and an editor. Hopefully, they're one person and our money.
Yeah. So Tony Jones of The Athletic wrote about the fact that so far the intel on Donovan Mitchell has been really, really interesting because after this Taylor Horn-Tucker deal, it kind of puts everything in an interesting perspective. So basically, a potential Donovan Mitchell trade is in the air. New York and Utah, nothing's imminent because everything's hung up on picks. And it seems like Danny Ainge is leaking information that the Knicks are being pussies to put pressure on by the media and fans to trade for Donovan Mitchell, which is a very common move. But today it finally came out that the three places Donovan Mitchell has never requested a trade. Donovan Mitchell has never said he wanted to leave Utah. But he has said that his preferred destinations, according to sources, are the Knicks, the Brooklyn Nets, or the Miami Heat. Mitchell cannot be traded to the Nets if the deal does not include Ben Simmons, which Ben Simmons, Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell, and Kevin Durant, I don't think could be as good as Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, just because of the defense that Ben Simmons brings you. Now, the Heat simply don't have the assets that the Jazz want. They're not going to give them Bam Adebayo. But the other two dark horse teams that it has came up that there's two offers that they like better than the Knicks offers or just as much as the Knicks offer, but the teams' names weren't mentioned. And you know what teams those are?
The Chicago Bulls.
No, the Charlotte Hornets and the Washington Wizards, because those are the only other two teams that have been mentioned as pursuing. So what would a package you think be for the Hornets? I just think like the thing is that you look at Mitchell and he's one of the most dynamic players in the league. Like how hard is it to find a guy in the NBA who can drop 25 points every single night, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, when he tries, play good defense, and he'll only be 26 in September. So basically, and he has 3 years left on his deal. So you're basically, the Jazz are asking for 90 cents on the dollar. At least. But they're really looking for $1 on the dollar. And we just saw them trade Bev because he didn't fit the timeline. And Horn-Tucker is somebody that I think fits in there. There's still Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, and Bojan, who I think are on their way out. But a team that's Conley, Taylor Horn-Tucker, Stanley Johnson, Jordan Clarkson, Mitchell, Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Ballamaro, Butler, Kessler, Udoka Azubuike, play-in team. No? Okay, fuck you. So at this point, and Johnson's a former lottery pick. Yeah, he hasn't played, a lottery level in the NBA, but he's a decent wing and interior defense player, good athlete with some toughness that obviously, the Jazz roster needed last year. So for me, I just think you look at Horn-Tucker, he's a guy who has the mentality to be a natural scorer. He just can't hit shots. He's athletic and crafty. He can put the ball on the ground. I just think this team, if they keep Mitchell, not a bad thing. But I want him to go to the Wizards or the Hornets. I want them to say fuck New York and just also look how fucked this pink. Wait, is it which pink is it? This pinky. Look at this shit.
What's wrong with it? Is it bent?
Yeah, I just can't straighten it.
One in the pink, 2 in the stink, or is that what that basketball? Oh shit, yeah.
Do you see that? I broke the shit out of that playing basketball like a few years back. I can't straighten that pinky.
Oh.
Yeah. But
I like Charlotte. I like Charlotte. I agree with both of you and Thomas. Could you imagine if Miles Bridges is like just exonerated or the legalities are cleared up? But Washington is a really interesting It's really interesting to me. I like Charlotte, but if I'm Utah, I'm not trading them. I'm all set, man. I got a nice little package for Rudy Gobert. I got some players like Jared Vanderbilt that I can definitely utilize and I can definitely play. And I I don't think that some teams, I'm not saying Danny Ainge is a smart dude, but especially for a team like Utah, I can't remember the last time Utah were finals. Was it the 90s? Am I missing a decade? But if you got a guy like Donovan Mitchell, I'm gonna do a couple of things to keep him happy.
Would you keep him or trade him if you?
I'm keeping him.
I agree. I keep him. I don't think there's a deal out here. Let's run it back one more season. If it doesn't work, you trade him at the deadline for a team that's desperate, or you go into the offseason with every other team knowing that they're open to trade him. Still with 2 years left on the contract, teams are now prepared to trade for him. Similar to how we talked about Kevin Durant. We're running it back for one more year, and 100% agree. Now, let's